Greetings, friends, neighbors, and McLennan County primary voters. I'm David Russell. You have found the David Russell Show. This is going to be a special show, a little different. We're going to go over the ballots for the March 3rd primary for both Republican and Democrat. These primaries will decide who's going to represent the Democrats or the Republicans in the November midterms. These ballots do change from precinct to precinct. We have 95 precincts in McLennan County. I think there's probably maybe 15 different ballots, but I'm taking precinct 11 because I'm the chairman of precinct 11 for the Republican Party, so I understand it a little bit better. I don't know if people understand or know that in McLennan County, we have over 155,000 registered voters. But in early voting, we've only had 21,000 voters. It means a lot of people haven't voted yet. And in midterms, we lose some because you don't have TV advertisement all the time like you do in the presidential races. And then you have the problem of people saying, I just don't know who to vote for. I don't know these people. Well, I'm going to try to guide you through this and go over these ballots, at least here in McLennan County, and hope you know a little bit more about who's running, who to look at strongly. There's a few I'll endorse, some of, not as many as you would think, and some I'll suggest. Now, I think it's best for us to just take one ballot at a time. There is 4 pages to each one of the ballots. Now, I know the Republican Party much better than the other one, but I'll give you some information about what I do know in a non-partisan way. So if that helps you any. Now, these ballots, like I said, there's 4 pages to each ballot. Or each Republican or Democrat, and they start off with the federal government first. Now, on the Republican side, there's a bunch. What is there? 8 people running for U.S. Senate. Now, I can tell you there's only 3 of them that you need to be thinking about. And I've talked to some of the other ones and say, why are you running, when you see the huge amount of dollars these other people are spending and they have better name recognition. And they say, well, sometimes you got to run to get name recognition for later. So something to think about. But here's the 3 to think about. The incumbent is John Cornyn. He's 75 years old, been there for 24 years. Ken Paxton was the first one to sign up to run against him. He's our state attorney general. He, connection to McLennan County, he went to Baylor University, so he lived here for a while. Good guy, I know him, got his cell phone number. He works hard, he's fought for many different things. The third one, or the other serious one to deal with, is Wesley Hunt. He's out of Houston. I interviewed him. You can find the interview on this channel if you want a little more in-depth about him. Excellent guy. I'll start with Wesley first on the good and the bad. And I can't really say there's bad on him. The good is extremely strong character, West Point, multiple master's degrees, helicopter, Apache helicopter pilot, been to war, I forgot how many flights he said. It seemed like it was almost 60 or something, in harm's way. Solid person. He'd be good. Only, if you can say a downfall, he lives in Houston. He likes to say when he gets elected, we'll have a Hispanic, Ted Cruz, and a black man, Wesley Hunt, that majority of white people will vote for him. And I agree. I think the world of him. Downfall is 2 people in the state of Texas Senate living in Houston, but that's a small thing. Ken Paxton, I've mentioned a great guy. He's really fought the government, the federal government, during the Biden years. Won, I think, more than any other attorney general. There was a lot of things that I think if it wasn't for Ken Paxton, we had been world of hurt. Downfall. People say he has skeletons in his closet. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe because he was over the target. I don't know. I'll tell you how I voted here in a little while and how my wife voted. John Cornyn, been there for 24 years. Been a politician forever. Good guy. Like I said, 75 years old. Personally, I know he talks about how much he votes with Trump, but he seems to fight with Trump just a little bit or not support him as strongly as I'd like to. I believe the other two will. How we voted in this household was I voted for Wesley Hunt. My wife voted for Ken Paxton. It could have been the other way around. This race will probably run to a primary, or not a runoff. When I interviewed Hunt, it was funny as people said, we can win it in the primary. We don't have to go to a runoff. And I'm going, no. It looks like it's going to go to a runoff. Then when I interviewed him, I said something about it, and he goes, no, it looks like it's going to run off. What I would hope is either one of these two will win it outright, or both of these two are in a runoff. The other people, like I said, are not really what I'd call serious candidates. The next one is State Representative District 17. Pete Sessions only won. You don't need to worry about anything. You can vote for him or not. He's a good guy. Go ahead and vote for him. Now, Governor, our highest state office. I don't know how many people here. It looked like, for some reason, I'd heard 11 at one time. Looks like maybe 10 on this ballot. There's only two really to think about, and in my mind, only one. But Greg Abbott's been our governor for years. I haven't seen anything he's done wrong. The other serious contender is Pete Doc Chambers. I haven't met him, but I know people that know him, and they really talk highly of him. I don't know if this is his year. In my household, we both voted for Greg Abbott, for what it's worth. I'm not saying one way or another. Lieutenant Governor, there's 4 people running. I think it might be another one of those things, like I said, that some people are here seriously, some people are there for other reasons. I'm pretty sure I met Timothy Marbury. If I remember him, good guy, but Dan Patrick has done a great job. He leads the Senate, and he's one of the driving forces, along with Abbott, on our property tax reduction, where we got a lot more write-offs to lower our property tax. There's more to come on that, so think about that. Attorney General, this is a hotly contested race. Mays Middleton is a superstar. I think they're all probably superstars. He's good. Aaron Wentz worked for President Trump. I believe President Trump endorsed him for this job. Chip Roy used to be office manager, or I forgot what the words, but anyway, worked for Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz endorsed him, and Joan Hoffman. I met all these guys. Aaron is a mean-looking guy. He might be your man. I voted for Mays, and maybe for the wrong reasons, but he just seems, he's very approachable. Made sure I had his number and he had mine, and said, let's talk after the election. We got things we need to do. I like that type of guy. Aaron, like I said, he looks like a guy you don't want to meet in an alley. Chip Roy, he looks like a military guy. There's been some frustration between him and Trump, if that makes any difference. And Joan, nice, good person. The comptroller office, another hotly contested race. Don Huffines, which I don't know if you remember him, he ran for governor the last term. Did pretty well. Didn't, get it to a runoff or anything like that. Michael Berloga, or Berlogan. I'm sure I met him, but I don't remember him. Kelly Hancock, I remember that one. And Christy Craddock, she's the daughter of a historic person in politics. I voted for Don. Don owns a bunch of car dealerships. He's talking about doing a Doge farm of controlling controlling the government. He's just a good guy. I mean, if that helps you any. Commissioner for General Land, there's only one person, Don Buckingham. No, fine. Commissioner of Agriculture. This is a hotly contested, a lot of money going into this one. I know both of these people pretty well. Nate Sheets is the person that's trying to unseat Sid Miller. Sid Miller's been there a while. In my opinion, has done a fabulous job. He is actually a rancher and a farmer. If you meet Sid, you'll love him. Nate's not a bad guy or anything. I knew him from the grocery industry. I didn't realize I did. Some of you might know I retired from the grocery industry, and he has a honey business, a very successful one. He does not operate it in a way that the grocery industry suggests, like in a way of hiring brokers to get your product out, but he's been successful. He also doesn't grow his own honey, or he doesn't farm it, I guess. He buys it from other growers or farmers, and then has a pretty high standards on how he does it. That's fine. Sid is one of those that has done the job, done a great job. He's also a farmer and rancher, and if you met him, you'll love him. Railroad Commissioner. This is some people don't know. Railroad Commissioner has nothing to do with railroads. They should rename it. This is oil and gas. That's all it is. Now, there's several really good people in here. Beau French is the one that I'm recommending. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them, but I think Beau understands the oil and gas business. It's such a huge business for Texas. I feel pretty confident with him. Now, the next three are court places on Supreme Court, and we're fortunate. Nobody's running against them, so it does not matter. Okay, let's get over to the second page. The first part one is another one uncontested, so it doesn't matter, Supreme Court. Now, the Court of Criminal Appeals, place 3. This is one of those that people go, I don't know who to vote for, or vote for the first one, or whatever. Well, Thomas Smith, I understand, and I haven't met him, or I think somebody told me I did, but I don't remember, is the most conservative one. If that helps you, I voted for Thomas Smith. Come down to Judge of Criminal Appeals, place 9. You've got John Missinger and Jennifer Belildo. I never met either one of them. Don't know much about them. First one is John. I went with that one. I know that's awful, but you might skip it. If you don't know and you don't want to vote badly, you can skip something. Or if you know somebody, if you know something, you might pick one. This next one that's contested is extremely important, and it's for State Senator District 22. Now, I've got an interview on this podcast, on this page, with John Gimble. Excellent guy. The race is really between two people. The Renee Schroeder, she's trying her best, but just don't have the money. There's a lot of money goes into this because there's, I think, 7 whole counties and 3 more other counties that's, parts of counties. It goes all the way up to Tarrant County, Fort Worth. It's a big job. Now, David Cook has been in the State House. He was endorsed by Trump in the State House. excuse me, because he voted for school choice. Very conservative guy. He was in the running to be Speaker of the House. Not, I don't know if you can say anything bad, except for one little thing. He lives in the corner of this district. Now, when it comes to state house or senate, they're in session about a fourth of the time, and the rest of the time, their responsibility is to help constituents in the district. Well, he lives in the top corner, so it's going to be a little harder for him to take care of McLennan County. And of course, I'm thinking we're talking more with McLennan County people here. John Gimble is the president of the Republican Club. He's been our district clerk, I don't remember how long, but a long time. Done a fabulous job holding down the cost of that and making the courts run smooth. District clerk's kind of responsible for making sure all the courts have plenty of jury pool, and also make sure everything is filed properly, paperwork wise. And I can't say enough about him. By far, I recommend, that's one that I'm saying, please vote for, John Gimble. Not saying David Cook's bad, but you understand what I'm saying. Okay, the next one is the state, and of course there's two of them here. I've got the one on my ballot. State Representative District 56 between Ralph Patterson and the incumbent Pat Curry. Now, Pat Curry's been there a little over one term, and I can tell you that he is one of the hardest, I don't even think you'd say one of the hardest, he is the hardest working rep in Austin. There's just, he might irritate people because he's very direct, he's very hard, he works hard, but by far I would recommend Pat Curry because he'd be working for us, and I know that he answers his phone calls. If you, I was trying to find some of these, if you've gotten some of these, you know that he puts his cell phone number on a lot of them, and he responds back. I mean, he calls you back or whatever. So I'm endorsing him. Now, the other one that's not on this ballot, but for some people in McLennan County will see it, is I think it's District 11. It's the one that's got some other counties. Kat, I'm trying to remember her name, but the non-incumbent, I like her. But I didn't get to vote for her, so it doesn't matter. I'm not endorsing anybody, I just kind of like her. Now, on the second page, we've got a lot of nobody's running, so it doesn't matter if you vote for them or not, until you get down to District Judge in the 170th. Now, I've got an interview here with Barrett Thomas on my page. Highly recommend watching. The difference between the two of these, let me talk a little bit about the court. It's a family court. It's where divorces and child custodies and that type of stuff. It's no fun. Gina has mainly been a prosecutor. She's a attractive younger lady that does a great job as a prosecutor. Her husband's a police officer, so they're well connected, and that's how she got some of the endorsements. Barrett I think he had 8 law offices around the state that was extremely successful dealing with family law. Family law. His family was psychiatrists and psychologists, and he just has a calling for that. He's a very Christian man, and he said that one time driving between some of his offices, God talked to him and said, "This is what I want you to do." So, he's sold his business. It's going to take a huge cut in pay to do what God tells him to do. By far, if you watch the interview with Barrett, I can't give a stronger endorsement that we need Barrett there. There again, a lot of these others on this page is people has nobody running against them, so it doesn't matter until you get down to district clerk. Now we talked a little bit about that with John Gimble. District clerk's an extremely important job. We're so thankful that we had John Gimble making it a well-oiled machine and making it where he had to resign to run for Senate, that it could just keep moving like it's been moving. And now we've got two people running. His lieutenant from, I think he lived in Kansas, that moved here to be a deputy clerk. His name is Conley Litton. And then we've got Rebecca Eubank. Now she is a McLennan County native, has a wonderful pedigree. Let's see, I know I've got this. I've got so many. Are you like this? Do you have a lot of these? Oh, here's one on Barrett Thomas. And of course we talked about David Cook. He's a good guy, but we talked about why. Oh, this was a one, I left it over there. This is a one for Conley. Rebecca, been in the military, been a police officer, been a sheriff's deputy that was over family investigations, has managed a lot of people. Now she's working in Luna's court, Ryan Luna's court, as chief investigator. She understands what it takes on multiple levels of what would streamline some of this stuff. If you've been only working in inside the office, sometimes you think everything's fine, and I think with John Gimble's, what he's set up so far, it has been fine. But she can take it that next step, like digitalizing all the records, because you think about it, we've got records that goes back to 1860, and people might need them sometime. Also, how to make sure these courts stay filled with the right people. He likes to say he's the jury guy. I don't know if I would want to put in somebody that says, I'm going to put you on a jury. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. By far, Rebecca Eubank is the one we want. It kind of goes back to this Barrett Thomas. I didn't say this before, but Barrett and Rebecca are both native McLennan County people. The people they're running against, Gina Long is from Michigan, and Conley is from Kansas. I understand he had some issues in Kansas and moved here, something that would not necessarily be becoming of someone you wanted in office. Please vote for Rebecca. The next two are, nobody's running against them, so it doesn't matter. Okay, 3 and 4. Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1. There's 4 people running in this race. Diane Hensley's been there for a long time. She has not done anything wrong, in my opinion. Matter of fact, there's some things she's done that has fought for fellow Christians. I think she deserves another term, and I'm 100% supporting her. Justice of the Peace, number 1, place 2. Some people was wanting me to run for this one out. I don't know if I'm a Justice of the Peace type person. I'd rather do what I'm doing now. But we've got 3 people. One of them's pulled out. Will Hudson, good guy, but he saw it was getting expensive and, it wasn't going to really work out. There's Gary Bull Durham. Now, he was, the county commissioners picked him to fill in after Judge Peterson retired until this election, and he's been doing a fine job. He was a highway patrolman and good guy. Now the other guy's good too. Aubrey Robbie Robertson III. Can't say anything bad about either one of them. Gary Bull Durham has been doing the job, so you could almost say he's an incumbent. I voted for Gary. It's just you got to pick one. Now we've got 10 propositions, but these propositions are really more about telling the state house or our elected officials what we want. The first one is property tax should be assessed at the purchase price and phased out entirely over the next 6 years through spending reductions. 100% support this. Will it happen? I don't know. I am working with some people at the State House to try to make major difference. As a city councilman, I was able to make our property tax in Woodway the lowest in the county. We could have done a lot better. We're going to work from different directions. I'll be off the city council soon, so I can focus in a different way. But I voted yes on that. Texas should require any local government budget that raises property tax to be approved by voters at a November general election. Yes, by far, I'm supporting that, and this is something that I'm working at the state level, along with some of the other people I know at the state level, so please vote for that. Texas should prohibit denial of health care or any medical service based on parents' vaccination status. I don't know if you know what they're really talking about, but it's basically these people that says you got to have the COVID shot before we can do anything. Yes, this should prohibit the denial. So vote yes on this because it's just crazy. But that's how some of this goes. Texas should require public schools to teach life begins at fertilization. Well, we can argue this as much as you want to. As a Christian, I believe that's right. That's why I voted yes. Texas should ban gender, sexuality, and reproduction clinics and services for K through 12 schools. Yes, I mean, there again, this is probably something some people might argue back and forth with. My thought is I don't want gender, sexuality, reproduction clinics to be in our schools. That's in our children to deal with without their parents. Just me. Texas should enact term limits on all elected officials. Now, this is one I go against them. The reason is I could agree with them on state, if everybody's playing by the same rules, but this would affect our Congress and our senators. It would not be fair for Texas to only have shorter term Congress people and senators and have other state having longer term to take advantage of us. I voted no on that. Whatever you think on that. Make sure I'm right here. Get all this going. Yeah, that was 6. 7, Texas should ban large-scale sale of groundwater, surface water, or any single private or public, or to any single private or public entity. I voted no on this too. The reason, as a city councilman, I've seen our water issues. Thank goodness God came through for us, but I tried to cancel all building permits several years back when we was in an extreme drought. Lake Waco was at 50% or lower, and our wells was, I think we had half our wells down, and the aquifer was way down, and I was going, I don't think it's right for people to tell us we have to not water anything and let our grass die, and then let builders come in and build whatever they want to add more pain to it. That was a controversial stance I took. In this situation, I'm going, there can be areas that's in extreme drought that might need to have water hauled in for these reasons. That would ban it. So I voted no. That's whatever you think on that. Texas legislature should reduce the burden of illegal immigrants on taxpayers ending public services for all illegal aliens. I voted yes for this. I did a nice podcast on how to fix the illegal alien issue once and for all. You get a chance, watch it, see what you think, because I think it's very important that we find solutions instead of keep kicking it around. Number 9, Republican-controlled Texas legislature should stop awarding leadership positions, including committee and subcommittee chairmen and vice chairmen, to Democrats. I voted yes for this. We've pretty well already done it. That's one of those throw out type things. Either way is fine. Texas should prohibit Sharia law. I 100% agree with that, because that basically makes a no-go zone, or makes it hard for a non-Muslim person to, well, you can't be represented on that. Just to let you know, on the Republican side, there is we have a party headquarters at 539 North Valley Mills Drive in Waco. Their phone number, just in case you need to call them, I don't think they're open on Monday, but they might be today, 254-772-6955. I got that off the website, so I'm not doxing anybody, but just in case somebody wants to know more, you could call and go from there. Now, the next one's the Democrats. I know some of y'all may not be interested. Some people might be very interested. I'm not so much going in. I don't know these as well, but I'll give you some information on how to find. The U.S. Senator, there's 3 people: James Taritico, Jasmine Crockett, and Amin Hassan. Take your pick. I can't say one way or another. United States District 17, which would run against Pete Sessions, has J. Gordon Mitchell, Mize Flores, and Cassie Shepard. 3 people. Governor, there's a lot of them. Let's see, there's probably about 8. I don't know. I don't know any of them. So, but I'll give you some information on how to do it. Lieutenant Governor has 3. Attorney General has 3. Comptroller has 3. Commissioner of General Land Office has 2. Commissioner of Agriculture has 1. There's several has. Supreme Court has 2. There is several. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that very good, but there is several on the front page that you will be choosing of which one. Now, you can find this out at McLennan County Courthouse or McLennan County Election Office. You can pull this up like I did. On the next page, there's only one that has a choice on it, and of course the rest then it goes into propositions, and that's to who runs against whoever wins on the Republican side on the State House District 56. Jessa Givens and Ashley Bean Thornton. Like I said, I'll give you more information on that. Here's the propositions. Texas should expand Medicare and ensure access to affordable health care for all. That's probably some things maybe. Texas should support human and dignity immigration policies and a pathway to citizenship. If you watch my podcast on that, I think it would answer that. I'm sure it's different than what they talk about, but we need to come together, not from extremes. Texas should have the right to make its own health care decision on reproductive rights. Now, you know what they mean by reproductive rights. It's not reproductive, it's usually abortion rights. Whatever you think on that. And that's Proposition 3. Proposition 4, Texas should address the state housing affordability and access to both urban and rural communities. Also did a podcast on that about how to fix the housing issue once and for all. Please watch it. It's a pretty deep issue. I'm a landlord, and I know this. I've been one for 45 years. I know this issue pretty hard, pretty deep, and it's not what you think it is. and I would think what they're suggesting probably would make it worse. But please watch the video and see what you think. Texas should fund all public schools at the same per pupil rate as the national average. I looked this one up. I love this one. We're actually already $1,000 per pupil over what the average is. So I don't know if Democrats know that what they're recommending here is actually cutting school funding. That last school choice program did increase the funding considerably, and there's a lot of things we need to do in the future that maybe we need Democrats' help on too. But there's a lot to that I've been working on a little bit too. Secure online online voter registration should be accessible to all eligible Texas residents. Well, you can imagine my thoughts on that, but this is Democrats voting, and they need to vote how their hearts are. Texas should have a clean and healthy environment that includes water, air, biodiversity. Texas should present the state nature, culture, and scientific recreational resources. There's a degree of that I'm sure I agree with. I'm just not sure, the details of it. Texas should legalize cannabis for adults and automatically expurge criminal records for past low criminal cannabis offensive. Texas should raise salaries to at least the national average and should provide a cost of living increase based on national consumption index every 2 years to current and retired school and state employees. That kind of gets into some other issues that you can see on my podcast. I probably need to do a deeper dive. Got a lot of friends that are teachers and friends that parents who was teachers and principals and school administrators, and even my daughter-in-law was a school administrator. So there's a lot to that, and I think there could be some adjustments made that would benefit everyone. It's one of those that'd be nice for all of us to sit down and work things out. Texas should ban radically motivated redistricting and ban decade restriction and create a nonpartisan redistricting board to redraw lines every 10 years. Well, you know why they're doing that? There's a degree of, I understand, and it's almost like these states, we talk about the national stuff. Is it fair if we have one standard, they have another standard? But of course, every state, we're the United States. We're not the government of America or anything. So this is a difficult issue. But there's some degrees that I can understand. The working class should be eligible for greater federal income tax relief and have their tax burden fairly shifted into the wealthiest. I don't know if they understand what they said there. Working class should be eligible for greater federal income tax and have their tax burden fairly shifted to the wealthiest. I guess what they're trying to say is instead of them paying tax, have the wealthier pay taxes. Well, President Trump is working on a plan to make it where if you make less than $150,000, which is well over the average, not pay zero income tax. So there's a degree of that that's happening, and I personally would just rather see some of this tax burden to be restricted. But the biggest thing is hold down the cost of government. I saw a wonderful thing one time by one of our original presidents that's talking about too many people living on the taxpayer dollar is a sin. Anyway, Texas should expand accessibility of public transportation opportunities in rural and urban communities so residents can get to their workplace, schools, and health care. It's a good goal. I think the free enterprise system needs to be working on that a little bit more. and it needs to work out of how is the most cost-effective way of getting a job done. So I don't know if I want everything public transit, but we can see efficiencies that maybe could work together. I'd like that. Texas should prevent individuals with history of domestic abuse from purchasing firearms by implementing red flag laws. Red flag laws can be used in bad ways, but also there is a good point, and they should be able to be careful with who buys firearms. So that might be one of those things that they need to come to the table and work out, and us all find the right solution. And they might be taking extremes, to negotiate what was best. Now, to get more information on McLennan County Democrat Party, I know a couple of Democrat precinct chairs. They're wonderful people. Sometime I'd like to get them on this podcast, so a way we can discuss some of this stuff. Should have been this one, but we just didn't work it out. But their party headquarters, I got off of their website is at 6801 Sanger Avenue, Suite 240, Waco, Texas. Their phone number is 254-301-7648. Like I said, I'm not doxing anybody. I just got it off their website. There will be 38 locations to vote. Let me see if I can find some of this. So, okay, some of the popular place. I mean, this is going to be open, I think, 7 to 7. That doesn't sound right. I thought it was 5, but let's see. I got some more paperwork around here somewhere that tells Election Day, 7 to 5. That sounds right. In Woodway, where I'm located, Woodway City Hall. I'll be there most of the day. I will be picking up some people to vote from time to time, but I'll try to be out there with sample ballots to help people see what's on there, kind of what I'm doing here. Also, Woodway First Baptist Church off of Ritchie Road. Another good place to go. Nice place. They're actually not bad. West Community Center. Waco First Assembly of God. That's probably one of the hottest places to go. Most people go. And there's going to be a lot of candidates out there. So, it's a good place to talk to people. These candidates try to put people in as many places as possible. But when you have this many places to vote, it's hard to put people there, especially standing up there all day long. The Waco 25th Street Fire Station. That's that one that used to be the theater when I was a kid. It looks pretty cool. University High School building. Texas A&M Agricultural Extension on Cobbs. St. Albany's Church. Where's that one? St. Albany's is on 30th Street? Is that right? Yeah, 30th Street. Spiegelville Baptist Church. South Waco Library. South Waco Community Center, Robinson Community Center, Riesel ISD, Moody First United Methodist, Moody ISD Building, MCC Conference Building, Mart ISD, Lorena, Lacey Lakeview, Journey Christian Community out in China Spring, Hewitt First Baptist Church, Hewitt City Hall. That's another hot place. A lot of people will be there. Heart of Texas Council of Governments on New Road. H.G. Isbell Junior High. I guess that's, where is that? In Golson, I guess. Or, I don't know. No, that's in McGregor. Golson First Baptist Church. Fellowship Bible Church on 9th Street. Dewey Community Center. Crawford Methodist Church in Crawford. China Spring ISD Administration Building. Chalk Bluff Baptist Church. Cesar Chavez Middle School. Carver Baptist Church, Bruceville Eddy ISD, Beverly Hills City Hall, Belmead Civic Center, Baylor Herd Welcome Center, and Axtell ISD. We're trying every way possible to get that other 130,000 people to come out and vote. Please come out and vote. If you want to come see me, I'll be at the Woodway City Hall. We just want to get the right people on both sides to be ready for the May election. Not May election. I'm thinking about city council. The November election. And like I said, there might be two situations. The United States Senate and the Texas Senate could be going into a runoff. Not sure when that would be, but I'm sure we'll put out another video on that. Anyway, thank you for viewing. Sorry it's running a little long, but we wanted to get everything covered. And come out and vote tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.